Just make sure we're good on the YouTube. Says that we're good on the YouTube. Let me make sure. Yeah, there we go. All right, cool. Oh man, good morning, good evening, good day, good afternoon. Welcome to another USFL, the Owner's Box, the only CFM PS4 league that I know of with its own live talk show. Joined today by a very special guest. He is known as the Carolina Panthers Psycho Doe. I know him as Ronnie by his real name, but also the founder of the USFL League, Carolina Panthers. Owner, good day, sir. How are you doing?
Good, man. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for coming on, man. It's a pleasure to get you on here. I mean, being as though you found the league and things like that. Can you give us a little back?
Yeah, the league was founded by myself, Bill, and Cletus.
Okay, well there you go.
Yeah, look, they give me credit for it because I kind of took the bull by the horns, but those two guys come over originally as well. They were instrumental. Then both the Bohr brothers stepped up, and they really helped solidify the league when we didn't know what direction we were going. Basically, a little background on the league. Bill, myself, and Cletus, we all played in another league. And
what was that league called?
I can't even remember what it was called now. In the NFL EM or something. It was a lot of guys that were family based. Guy that ran it, then he had 3 or 4 of his brothers in it. When they stopped winning, they just shut the league down, kicked us all out one day.
Well, that's a way to get your own league started.
Oh yeah. So we we rebounded, built this, and here we are today.
Okay. Now what does USFL stand for?
United States Football League.
I kind of assumed that, but I just didn't want to, assume something that simple. Man, it'd be something totally different, something totally off the wall.
Yeah, just put it together quick. United States Football League. We went international for a while. We did have a guy from somewhere over in Europe. That was difficult to have him playing, but he actually played his games, even though he's 7 or 8 hours ahead of us.
Right. Now, how long has the league been around so far?
We've been playing since the first. I've been playing league since the first Madden that offered league play. I think we built USFL with the second Madden that offered league play. So maybe 2011, 2012.
Oh, okay, yeah. So the league's been around for a while. I remember I came in early once or twice, and I had left, and then I came back again. Doc invited me back in. Is how I got back in. And I've been back pretty much ever since. How's your league? How do you feel about the league overall since where it started from and to what it's evolved to today?
I think it's great. We've actually, if you look at the way that we've kept this going, we've actually merged a couple times in essence with some leagues. Leagues that had a few players would come over, play in both leagues. Some of those leagues still exist, some don't. I think you used to be in a league, didn't you?
Yeah. I was in a league called MBL, Madden Brotherhood League. Myself, Ty.
Right. Who else ran that?
Philly in Canada ran it. Mike Knight. Yeah. Yep. So we all came out to him. Honey Badger.
That's pretty much defunct now, isn't it?
Yeah. It's been gone for a little while now.
A lot of you guys come from there to here. I know Candy was in there.
Yeah.
A lot of good players come over here. I know Tricky had a league. I can't remember what that was called. He had a lot of players that come over for a while. So we've always had a good mix. Where it is now, though, I'm happy with. I like the competition. I like the camaraderie of the guys. We've over the years we've had some hard heads. Makes life difficult. Now all we have is Paya.
Yeah, I agree.
But Paya's good for the league. He's that spark sometimes.
Yeah, no, he definitely gets the chat riled up and gets people going. And he's still competitive too, so it's not like he's like doing it
Hey,
and
he
not being.
remained an NFC champ until somebody
Yeah,
knocks him off. That's his title.
yeah, I agree. Um, where I know you had took a hiatus for like a season or two, correct?
Uh, Basically for almost the entire Madden.
Of last year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then you're back. How do you feel now? Do you feel rusty? Do you feel like the game has slowed down for you? You still trying to get your rhythm back?
Oh, I'm still definitely trying to get my rhythm back. I actually last two seasons, well, about the last season and a half, I actually been playing with a broken thumb and a torn ligament. So,
Yeah, that's right. I remember you told me that.
so yeah, it's been hard to have the controls in my hand, but
Yeah.
it's getting better, and I feel like I'm getting better.
Okay, so is your hand good now? Are you still playing with a handicap?
It's the ligament's still tight, but it's pretty good.
Okay, cool. I mean, you still winning some games, so I mean, to still win some games with a torn ligament is impressive. I give you credit for you jumping on the sticks, but I guess it's some type of therapy as well, correct?
Yeah, it's to do something. I can't sit around.
Yeah,
So, but other than that, yeah, I think it took a little bit of time to get my feet back under me. The game's changed a little bit. Uh, there's still, there's still plays that are there. It's still Madden. A lot of guys, a lot of guys still run the same offenses. You know,
yeah,
nothing special. Just got to stop it.
yeah. I know you're still in this mat, and you're kind of still run heavy. Um, you kind of love Chris McCord. We play twice a year, so I kind of see you, understand how your game is. But I also seen you guys some receivers. Do you still try to get them more involved? Do you still stay run heavy first?
Well, I'm run the ball and defense by heart. It's just defense is I've always been defensive minded. That's where I like to be. But as far as running the ball, I'm going to run the ball. Um, you know, I'm gonna throw the ball, but yeah, my receiving core is definitely increased on the speed. Um, Picked up a gem in the draft, superstar wide receiver, projected in the seventh round. Um,
Yeah, I've
he's
seen that.
he's going to be a focal point.
Yeah, I've seen that, and I also seen you got a great cornerback too. I think he's the best cornerback out of the draft class.
Yep, and I also got Cam Newton's replacement.
Now let's talk about that. What I seen you put him like Cam Newton on a block, and I'm like, he can't be serious. Like, what about Cam at this point that you want to now switch? I mean, you've had him, you've had the Panther since I've known you. Why now try to get away from from Cam?
Age, simply age and money. He was 23 million on the cap this year, 25 million on the cap this year. Um, so I had to move on.
Now, if you try to trade him now, what's your cap penalty hit? I know he has to have a crazy hit.
It's the last year of his contract, 3 million. He's gone already.
Would you trade him? Oh wow, I didn't even notice that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Shout out to the Ravens. That's a steal.
Yeah.
That was a steal. Who's his replacement?
My rookie.
All right, yeah, I meant to pull him up and look at him.
Eighth pick overall. Let's see.
Yeah, we're gonna have to for sure look at him. The replacement.
He's going to take a little development, but I'm good with him.
And you said you picked him at 8th?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, it says you had Wentz here. You also have Wentz?
Yeah,
You have Carson Wentz?
Wentz is the backup. He came over in the trade for Cam Newton.
Okay, so we're talking about either Mason or Jordan.
Mason.
Which guy? Mason, the guy you're looking to start.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, fast development, throw power 90, throwing a run 89. Play action 80, speed 85. Yeah. Short, medium, yeah. He's a young Cam as far as legs go.
Yep.
So he's definitely gonna need.
Yeah, still got what I need there.
Yeah, and then until you really build him up, Carson Wentz I think can hold the fort down. Unless you want to get him in the game currently right now, just get him to understand your rhythm and your offense and your schemes and things like that.
Well, I've got him some toys. Got two solid running backs. After Kristen went down last year, I ran with a 69 overall running back for about 800 yards. So
yeah, that running back was actually pretty good too. So he was surprisingly fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually thought he was tougher to tackle than Chris myself.
As the season went on, and I was able to put a little bit of the XP into him, he became tougher.
Yeah. I definitely found him a little tough to tackle. I know that, like you said, I know you got a great receiver. I think Cletus got the overall best receiver, in my opinion, from the draft.
Yeah.
But you for sure got the best cornerback. I think that the Chiefs got the best defensive lineman from the draft. Best offensive linemen were to the Colts. Redskins, I think, got the best running back. You and somebody else got the best quarterback. It wasn't that many stars on the offensive side, like quarterback, running backs, but receivers, cornerbacks was definitely some stars there.
Yeah, Ty picked 2 spots in front of me in the 5th round.
He has a good quarterback.
Yeah, I was going to take that quarterback.
Yeah, Ty got the best overall quarterback in my opinion.
Yeah, that was my next pick in the 5th round. I was going to take it and
so you mean to tell me
trade bait.
Them 2 guys lasted to the 5th round, 5th and 4th round?
No, not mine. Mine went in the 8th. Ty got his in the 5th.
Crazy.
5th round and went in the 5th.
That's crazy. He was a steal. To go that far. Yeah, go that far, and he can actually.
I was watching him drop, and I was like, you know what, a computer team will pick him because he's, an auto pick will take him because he's slotted for the 5th.
Yeah.
So I was like, if he's there, I'm taking him, and I'll deal one of the 2 of them if I can. But Ty took him 2 spots in front of me.
Yeah, because I actually looked at that guy. He actually can start in a couple places. Yeah, he can actually start in some places. So to do that, and it's funny that you said that because we talked about that. I think the owner's box before the draft. Like, man, if you see a guy you like him, you take him, no matter what he's slotted, because he's not going to be.
That's like as the top 8 picks started to unfold, my whole draft changed. My whole draft strategy changed. So
yes.
I had a plan at 8 and a plan at 13, and 7 picks changed both those plans.
Yeah. Who was the first overall pick? Do you know? Like what position?
I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember who that was.
It was the Eagles, right? But the Eagles did have the first pick, correct?
No, he traded it. I can't remember who had the first. Vikings. I think he went with the outside linebacker.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, and his outside linebacker is pretty good too.
Yeah.
I seen that. Yeah. Just to take him at that high at number 1, I guess that's what he felt like he needed. That's to take that linebacker. I think it was 1 or 2 good linebackers up there. So
yeah, there were a few. Yeah, this draft was kind of weak. It was kind of really a weak draft. Not a great one to have, a bunch of number 1s in, but I got what I needed.
Yeah, I guess it all depends on what perspective you're looking at. Some guys got what they needed. I see Cletus only got 1 superstar, so it wasn't too crazy. It wasn't that many superstar development guys in there anyway. Maybe like 5 overall.
Even the cornerback I got, he's the best cover corner in the draft, but he's still normal development.
Yeah, I think he's the fastest too. He's like 94 speed.
Yeah,
I think he definitely.
I'm pretty good at corner now.
Yeah, so you got some good speed receivers, which is surprising to me how you say you still run heavy first, because you got the weapons. Now it's on you. I mean, where do you I ask everybody this when they come on. Where do you rank the both sides of the conferences? Where do you rank the NFC since you're there first? And then how do you feel about the AFC?
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I don't pay any attention to anybody outside my division. And then I start looking at conference. Right now, you've got the mark on your back. I figured the Saints out. I'm coming for you next.
Cool. Yeah, it's funny that you say that because right before the playoffs started, he reached out to me. Like, I was like, "Yeah, you can go 10-6, you know." And he's like, "Well, he's like, I want to beat the Panthers." I said, "Well, you know, he beat you the first time." He said, "No, I got to figure it out." And then I turned on the game, and you were up like 21 something. I was like, "Oh, he can't beat the Panthers."
Nah, I had him figured out. That the first game gave him away. He became very predictable.
Yeah, that's funny. We had that same conversation. I said that. I was like, "Oh, he got you figured out. You're not going to beat him now." I was like, "That's what your chance to beat him. You didn't beat him." I was like, "You're not going to beat him no more." He was like, "No, I'm going to beat him this season." I was like, "All right, we'll
So,
see."
but as far as the conferences go, you know, clearly KC and the AFC till somebody knocks them off. Green Bay and the NFC till somebody knocks them off.
Yeah, that's
Um,
easily.
you know, it's some good talents in both places. You know, Minnesota says he's going to take uh, the division from Green Bay. Eagles have stepped up and said, you know, they're taking the East. I don't know. We got some guys that are saying they're going to do it. You know, I'm just going to keep grinding out. Hope I can sneak into the playoffs. And if that has to be winning the South, then that's what we got to do.
Well, I look forward to it, man. I don't expect people to stay in their positions forever. I mean, you always have tough battles. It just, I usually just break out towards the end of the game, so it's never like you're, out of the game. It'd be interesting to see. I know the Bucks are trying to make a strong comeback this year in the division. You know, from going 10-6 and going 3 and something. I know you feel some type of way about that. Eagles definitely did make some bold statements. Vikings made some bold statements.
Well, I think what happened. I know you've been saying a lot with the Bucks. What happened with him and what the drop off? If you go back and watch his game film from the 10-6 season, he really only run about 8 plays the entire game. So once he started having to follow the mix up your play calling, I think it really impacted his gameplay.
Yeah. So you think overall that when him trying to when people figured out the 8 plays and it switched up, he couldn't really adjust.
Well, I think when he got out of his comfort zone, he started making errors. Let's face it, a lot of Madden's just timing. A lot of the routes are just timing. You can almost count it off, and unless it's a fluke, your guy's going to be there. Yeah. And it's a video game. It's not, it's just binary numbers. And so, I think what wound up happening there was when he had to put in some new plays, his timing was off. He started making mistakes, throwing interceptions, things like that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I think a lot of people struggle with that too, because after you run like this first season, after you run them same 10 or whatever plays, it's hard to come back season 2 and run them same 10 plays, especially when you see teams twice a year or whatever, and guys are watching the streams and things like that. It's like you already revealed your hand.
Yeah,
it's hard to play poker, and we already like as soon as you get your cards, you're like you went all in.
Yeah, and that that's like playing you. You got strong user over the middle of the field. If you've noticed the last few games, I've made you commit to 1 or 2, but I can still play the middle of the field with you.
Yeah,
I'll just put 2 people in the middle of the field, and you got to pick your poison.
Yeah.
You pick right, sometimes you don't.
Yeah, you do that. I'll give you that. You do that because I'll see like a in route and then a drag route, and I'm like, here we go. Now I got to chase one up, and you'll take that's just come through us playing a lot over the season. So yeah, you definitely have to be able to adjust and then adjust on the fly, and things like that. Who are you looking for? What is your biggest excitement for you this season? As far as like team, like your team and the other teams you might want to see.
Actually, I'm. I know Bill got a new quarterback. I've got a new quarterback. Ty's got a new quarterback. That is going to be a race for Rookie of the Year, I'm sure. It's going to come down to a lot of the quarterbacks that are starting, hopefully. Interesting seeing how a lot of the middle of the pack guys move up with the draft. You guys that were in the playoffs last year, 6 spots. Some of you are going to fall. I know y'all talk about Watt. Can his deep ball offense keep taking him there? Like I said, the Eagles are there.
Yeah.
Pyatt, he's got Minnesota now. Saints come on last year. I started to come on a little bit at the end last year.
Yeah.
The AFC West is very competitive. Baltimore showed some good signs, late in the season. It's just the parity is what excites me. It looks like a lot of things are starting to even out in the league.
Yeah, I agree. And it seems to be more competitive. It's a lot of it to me is the new owners bring a certain level of competition. The owners box, being able to sit here and talk and things like that, do it. The chat's been kind of on fire. I think people are paying more attention now to games and different users and just a whole different. Just to me, it feels like a whole different game now. Since we've been doing the show and since these last 2 seasons, I've been super excited about it. It'd be interesting to see what type of impact this new quarterback that you have makes on your team, because there is no controversy, right? He's going to get the nod, or does Wentz
He's getting the nod?
Okay,
he's getting the nod. I'm in full control in Carolina.
Yeah, I feel like when you draft somebody 8th, you're pretty much making a statement,
Well, I made the statement this morning yesterday when we parted ways with Cam.
Yeah. That same question could be asked to Ty as far as the Giants. Does this new rookie get the nod over Webb, who he has been developing for the last 2 seasons? I don't know why the Steelers are grabbing more quarterbacks. He has 2 good quarterbacks. For some reason, he feels like he needs to grab another one.
Well, maybe have a quarterback rotation. Maybe he's got a fast one, a slow one,
and a throwing one.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he's got one that's special for the deep ball.
Yeah.
He still doesn't have Antonio Brown too.
Yeah. Do you see the Chiefs making a repeat? I mean, he's made it to the Super Bowl 2 out of 3 years.
2 out of 3. Like I said, until somebody knocks him off and takes that spot. Yeah, I see him repeating. He's a clutch performer. He has down games, but he grinds out. None of his playoff wins were pretty, but they were wins.
Yeah. No, the win over the Jets was pretty convincing.
Pretty. That was defensively done.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily a game plan that he come in and he moved the ball and put points on the board. He wins however he has to win.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
But he's good. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes either.
Yeah. Have there been any other trades in Carolina besides the Cam trade? I mean, the Cam trade is huge, man. I mean, that's a blockbuster trade. I mean, that's bigger than my trade and the Seahawks trade.
That's the only trade. Got some things in the works. That was part of moving Cam. Had to free up cap space to possibly bring in somebody else. Fill another weakness on the team.
Okay, so you're cooking over there in Carolina. You guys are doing something down there.
Oh yeah. We always stay quiet, but we always working.
Yeah, that's cool. Overall, how would you rate or grade your off season?
Had I been able to execute my plan, my plan was to keep Cam and draft differently. And just eat the cap for this year and come out the backside of it. With the players I brought on, I'm gonna give myself a B. Only because I took what was there, and I did well with it. I filled some holes that I needed, but they become luxury picks in a sense. So it did expose a couple of my weaknesses because the players that I wanted weren't there.
Yeah. And then who do you think, your opinion, because I didn't get a chance to draft or see a draft, who do you think had the best overall offseason?
You know what? I don't know what his draft looked like, but I think that Champ in Arizona, I think he had a pretty good offseason.
Yeah,
he brought in some talent.
I seen that. I looked on Daddy League this morning, and he did bring in some nice little pieces there.
Yeah, he brought in some nice talent. Ty with that quarterback, he pairs it with that running back from last year.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Beckham Jr., so his offense should immediately be better. Cletus, 5 first-round picks,
Yeah.
plug and play. He's
Yeah. I wish they would stop trading that guy picks, man. I really wish they would just stop trading that guy picks.
It's amazing. He always has something somebody wants.
Because he develops them. People, it's hard for him. It's hard when he says like, yo, this superstar 23-year-old's on the block. And you're looking like, oh man, he's all souped up, What do you want for him? Well, I just want your first 2 picks. And it's like,
Yeah.
It's like, oh, sure. I don't know. I mean, I get it. It works. I get it. But good Lord, man.
But it makes sense too because, you got one of the 32, picks, and there's no guarantee you're going to get a guy, with superstar development that can start now.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's a great system. I mean, it's a great blueprint. It works. But I mean, good God.
And if he can continue to win with plug and play, he's the Belichick of
the league. USFL. Sure. Of any league I've ever seen or ever played in, his system is amazing.
Yeah, it works for him.
Yeah, it works.
Take the worst team, one of the worst teams in the league, and turn them into perennial powerhouse, and then trade everybody away to keep that going.
Yeah. I see that the Broncos brought in a nice young running back, and they also brought in Robbie Anderson, a receiver from the Jets. Are there any other trades that were kind of impressive to you this offseason, or deals or moves that were made?
Trying to think what I saw. To be honest with you, I don't watch a whole lot of what anybody's doing if they're not in my division.
Well, I brought in Miles Jack from the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, so that's going to improve your defense.
Yeah, he's playing next to Deion Jones, and I brought in the tight end from Cleveland Browns, and I got another young tight end from the Bucks. I usually don't trade my division, but this guy, when the Bucks, he was a young tight end. He has all the receiver traits unlocked, plus 80 catching and 80 catching traffic. It was like, I got him for it.
I brought in your tight end from last year.
Yeah, I seen that. I mean, I didn't have a cap to even compete with you when I seen you try to bid for him.
He wanted to come to Carolina anyway.
Yeah, he wanted out. I mean, I offered him like 20 deals, and he was like, "Nope, I want to test the free agent list." So I was like, "I'm not even going to franchise tag you. Good luck with you." I was hoping nobody picked him up from the division. Now I got to worry about him. So,
he's not bad. He, Greg Olsen retired on me.
Yeah, he's a great replacement for you to fill that hole.
Yeah, that and he can block.
Yeah, I've been building that up. So to have that guy and then build him up, and then to lose him sucks. And then to lose him to somebody in the division, that makes it worse.
Well, so hopefully you'll see the wrong end of him twice a year.
So now that we're in season 4, does your I know your game plan doesn't change, but does your playbook change a little bit at all? Do you now run a custom? Do you switch up to a different stock? I know they got the audibles on the fly.
Yeah, actually, I've always run a custom, and I'm always adding plays to it. So my playbook always changes with the personnel I have. Truthfully, I have the ability to in my playbook now to go small ball, short passing, run game, 4 yards in a cloud of dust, or go over the top. I have the personnel to do that now. So the plays are going in the book to match that personnel.
Yeah, I think this year I'm actually running a custom for the first time. I ran a stock book these last 3 years, and this year I'm gonna just run just a custom, but just basically the stock book I ran, a little beefed up to just give people different looks and things like that. Who do you feel has been your toughest opponent, so far outside of the division? Like who usually gives you? Who's a good chess match with?
I tell you what, I had a really good game with Boone in Seattle this year. Great running game, good passing game. He's move the sticks kind of guy. He'll take his shots. That was a really challenging game. Played Paya last season. He had me confused the entire game. He's a stout player. Had a real good game last year with Ty. That I think that came down to the wire. outside of the division, I think it's 50-50. No matter who I match up with, just for a simple fact, we don't see each other all the time.
Yeah.
I kind of fly under the radar. I don't think anybody spends a lot of time scouting my games. Sometimes I think people may look past us because of their record, and I'll still win happily.
Yeah. So your mindset basically is try to win the division and then worry about everything else first.
That's it.
Yeah. I think it's funny because I kind of gave that same advice to the Saints last year before the season started. He was like, I'm making it to the playoffs. I said, well, you just got to win the division, or at least if you don't beat me twice, beat the other teams twice a year. Try to come second in the division. That usually helps to get to the playoffs.
Yeah, if I win the South, I'm a 4 seed at worst. So,
yeah, it's a guarantee in. Yeah, it's a guarantee in.
So.
Yeah, and that's usually my mindset as well. Just win the division and let Madden figure everything else out.
That's it.
Yeah.
Protect the house. If I can make the South mine, then I'll make the South mine, and I'll go from there.
Yeah. Now, do you still have commissioner say so as far as like rules and things like that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Are there any new things that'll be implemented this season or?
Well, I want to address the 5 first-round picks. I wasn't part of the league last year when that rule was brought in, so I was at some people asked me about it, and I really couldn't speak on it because I didn't know.
Somebody had 5 first-round picks?
Yeah, Cletus had 5. So, but apparently that was I guess last year we had a trade committee. The trade committee had come up with that. The trade committee now no longer exists, so any rules that they made kind of went out the window. So a rule wasn't broken, but it did spark some conversation in the admin chat. So we may be looking at that. I don't, normally we don't like to put in new rules middle of the season. So if it, we'll talk about it, and if it's something that we need to look at, it'll probably go in for next year. Yeah.
Now, what about I know Ty was talking about doing the run up the score versus allowing your opponent to concede. Is there any verdict on that? How are you guys addressing that?
We've talked about that a little. We haven't come to any good conclusion on that. Conceding's never really been anything that the league's been about. I personally don't like it. I take my lumps and move on.
Yeah.
No, in a competitive league, no reason to concede a game. Because the shoes always flip. You could be the guy that concedes today and understand why, and then you could be up by 35 and going into halftime, and guy concedes on you, and now you don't understand why.
Yeah. Now, so when does it get to a point where it becomes when you walk the fine line and run it up the score?
To be honest with you, my belief is we're all grown. We all know what we're doing. I think that comes down to each individual owner. The less management, the better. I'm here. I'm here to manage the Panthers and do my part with helping manage the league. I don't want to have to manage every other team, and I don't want to have to go back and watch everybody's games to make sure everybody did what they were supposed to. I don't have the time for it. I think everybody needs to understand, if do unto others kind of concept. If it would piss you off, it probably pissed them off.
Yeah, I respect that. I like that. I like that attitude, that mindset. I definitely respect that.
I've in my last game with the Saints, he was, I was winning. He just out of principle, he wanted to move down, put one more touchdown on the board. Hey, go for it, man. I don't, it doesn't bother me. At that point I had the game won.
Yeah.
I wasn't, I'm a guy that if I intercept the pass with, time expiring, I'm going down. I'm not taking it in the end zone.
Yeah.
That's just me. Karma comes back to bite you.
Yeah, I agree. No, I appreciate that. That's real honesty. and then hear that from somebody who was a commissioner, who's one of the founders of the league. It means something. It means something coming from you or Bill or Cletus versus coming from just a regular guy.
Well, I think everybody in the league, if we have a question about running up the score, I think everybody in the league needs to look in the mirror and and ask themselves, did I do that intentionally? It's when you're called out on something, the easy answer is what rule did I break? No, I didn't. Everybody already knows what their intention was. If I'm up by 24 and throwing deep under 2 minutes, I intend to score. That is whether I score or not. My intention is to score. Whether I get a 60-yard run and run out of bounds on the 1 yard line. If I was running a play I thought I could break open, then I'm trying to run the score up.
Yeah, man, that makes sense. Anything amended this year? Fourth down rule, position changes, anything that we mentioned?
No, nothing's amended. We did bump up the XP slider. I think it went up to 150 for offensive linemen and tight end.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. They take forever.
Well, we gotta keep fine tabs on that. Don't want the league to blow up. I'm not familiar. I think last Madden was the first Madden that had the XP sliders adjustable. And again, I took that Madden off for the most part. So I'm not familiar with them. I don't know how they impact. I haven't played with them.
Yeah.
So I don't know the impact.
Yeah, just to generalize it, it's just if everything was set, let's say 150, it's dependent on it's a lot of factors, developments factors, on the field factors, things like that. But you could, depending on, and then coaching packages, all those things play a part into that. So you could have some guys, a certain position souped up. But for me, it was like offensive linemen and tight ends, the guys who, especially the offensive linemen, they don't really have any training boost unless you do the running one.
Right.
So they're, to cripple them. And then even at I had the offensive line package and they were only getting like 100 XP, even when you like focused on the one guy, it was like, he'll never even get to average. Like you almost have to draft linemen every year to even compete with them.
Right.
Yeah. So same with tight ends, same with tight ends. I mean, of course there are stars and there's just guys.
Right. Well, we bumped it up a little bit. We'll look at that and run with that for a season and hopefully, that'll make it better for everybody. Yeah.
Well, I appreciate that. Hopefully that works and things like that.
Well, we definitely hear you guys. We may not always change it. That's why there's we don't rule with an iron fist. That's why there's quite a few admins in there, so we can have good dialogue. And sometimes we're outvoted. Sometimes we get our agenda pushed across.
Yeah, no, I mean as an overall, man, I mean the league to me is one of the best ran leagues. The fact that it is multiple admins and guys who are not admins have a voice and somebody's listening, somebody's watching, it means something.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. And we got guys like, yourself, you're doing the show. We appreciate that. Paya, we kind of made him in charge of recruiting and, he did a hell of a job.
Yeah, he's done good. He's done good. I mean, I'm not speaking his name and, tagging him and things like that until he wins the Super Bowl, but not overall. I mean, recruiting, he's been on it. Hats off to him, him finding the Browns, the Ravens, the Bears. I think then the Bears bringing on the Titans was definitely huge.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I brought the Saints this year, and then the Saints brought the Bengals with him. So, and then Will just brought his brother in, San Fran on it. So it's cool, man. Again, I think you guys are doing an amazing job. Even when things don't be changed or whatever, at least the fact that we can speak it and you guys are like, hey, we're talking about it. We're just gonna stay with it anyway. I mean, that's even cool.
Well, it's one of those things. It's a video game. Everybody. There's 32 of us that share time together. We've shared time together for a long time. So there's respect, dislike, love, whatever. There's all these different feelings everybody has for each other. And you got to have transparency, and you gotta listen to people.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's no different than the league, the owners. All the owners sitting around at the table speaking.
Yeah.
Things like that, so.
What I like that I'm hearing a lot of is other players sharing game tips with other owners, instead of it just being I'm here to dominate, not going to share, not going to help anything with anybody. I really like the fact, I know you help Saints, and I know a lot of guys reach out to Ty, different things like that. That's what I'm the most proud of with this league, is it's not just about the competition. It is about everybody, wanting to help each other out and have a good time.
Yeah, and it just makes it that much more, to me, it just makes it that much more competitive. Because, a lot of times, especially on the C side of the ball, they keep saying it's top heavy, it's top heavy, it's top heavy. So it's like, for me, it's like, well, I know these guys, I've been speaking to these guys, let me just help them out. If I can show them a play that didn't hurt, maybe, maybe that.
My belief is if something's top heavy, you knock the top off of it. So, but you have to be the one to knock the top off.
Yeah.
I tell people this all the time. You hear people in life always say, somebody should do something. Look in the mirror, you are somebody.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, or do something. That's how I do. Do something. Yeah.
That's it. I don't complain about my record because I earned it. If I don't like it, I change it.
Yeah, you usually stay low key under the radar, and things like that. 'Cause I know you're gonna come out competitive, now I know dislocated thumb or not, you're still gonna come out competitive. So, but I know you don't really speak much in the chat. You don't really make moves like that. You just grind it out.
Yeah, that's always been me, and I'm probably not going to change. I don't want anybody to notice me.
Yeah.
I had a good game with the Jags last year. I know he was new to the league, filling his team out. One of the best run games I've seen. He went on to the playoffs. I was proud of that victory. Even if he was just getting used to the team and whatnot. Those are things that I can build from. I took you down to, I could have kicked the game-tying field goal a couple seasons ago. I went for the win.
You sure did. You sure did.
So I know I can compete with anybody. I would have been in the playoffs this year had I not had the penalty game with the Rams.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think I had 9 penalties in that game. He missed the game-winning field goal at the end, but they called roughing the kicker, and so he got another shot at it with no time on the clock. That was the victory I needed to get in.
Yeah, I was hoping you got in because that would have put 3 people from our division in the playoffs. So
right.
I thought that would have been cool.
That would have been cool. But you know what? Like I said, I shouldn't have needed 1 win to get in.
Well, yeah, that's true.
So
that's true. But no, I mean, either way, you had a great season, and to just miss it by a field goal again, playing with the handicap is definitely impressive. So we'll see. We'll definitely see what you do this season, and how you maintain going forward, things like that. What's it? No, yeah. Where do you see your offense and your defense ranking this season?
You know what? My defense has always been up there in the top 10 or 12. I'll have 1 or 2 games where it kind of blows the stats out, but for the most part, I think my defense is solid. I think I got one of the best linebacking cores in the league. Now I think my secondary is pretty strong. I think my defense will be top 15. We're going to see with my offense. We'll go as far as my rookie quarterback can take me.
Okay, so while I got you on here, let's go. Let's give me some of these winners, these week 1 predictions. We got 49ers and Broncos. Who you got?
You know what? I want to see Doc bounce back. I'm going to go with Doc on that.
Yeah, I would love to as well, but I know that 49ers are hungry. They want something to prove. They made some good things in the offseason. I know he's going to try to deep ball Doc to death, so I'm going to go with the 49ers. Then you have Bears and the Lions, divisional game. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Lions there.
Yeah, I do. I'm pretty good. I'm gonna agree with you there. I know that Lions man have been speaking a lot, and he's been wanting to change his team around. He felt like he should have made it to the playoffs as well. That NFC 6 spot was a fight between like 4 or 5 teams, and he felt like he dropped the ball late in the season to get him in that. And he really wants the respect in his division because nobody mentions him. So I know he has a different mindset this season. So I'm gonna go with the Lions. Then we have Bengals and the Giants.
I think Ty bounces back from last season. I think he's excited. He got his quarterback. I think that takes his excuse away.
Yeah. I know he's talking about he was only going to go 5-11. He's going to put his head in the ground and grind. He's not going to speak on it. He's going to kind of take your method and just play and things like that. So I think he can pull it out, especially with that new quarterback. If he starts that new quarterback and he sits Webb down, then I'm gonna go with the Giants as well. Then we have the division game in our division, the Bucks and the Saints.
I'm gonna go with the Saints there. He's figuring that offense out pretty good. He just he needs to change it up a little bit. I'm not gonna tell him what he's doing wrong because I like him doing it, but I will say he needs to get a little less predictable. And I don't know if the Bucks have been paying attention when he plays them.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with the Saints as well. I think he might have even switched his playbook this year again. I wouldn't recommend it to him, but he did it. But I think he's learned enough, and we talked enough, and he's been labbing enough with the Bengals to figure it all out. He can put some wins together. I think he can make another run like he did to the playoffs. I'm gonna go with the Saints as well. Then we have actually I played the Chiefs week 1. So who you got? I know that was like a favorite. It would have been a Super Bowl matchup had I not dropped the ball in the NFC Championship.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs.
I expect that. I would expect that. We're in the same division.
Anybody that's hanging a loss on a division, mate, I'm rooting for them. Like what is it they say? I got 2 favorite teams. My team and whoever's playing who I don't like.
Right. Now it'll be definitely a good game. I wonder if he still has Eric Berry. I know Doc was telling me all playoffs, like if you make it to the Super Bowl, stay away from Berry.
I think Berry's still there.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting for me to see if Eric Berry still has it or he's lost a step. I'm gonna definitely test him. And just try to bring my A game, man. See if my new defense can hang with them boys. It should be a dogfight, man. I think that'll probably be game of the week.
Yeah, I would agree.
2 top users. So then we have you playing the Colts.
I don't know much about the Colts. I think I may have started to play him last year and it disconnected.
Yeah.
I think he was having some internet problems. So I think that game was a sim between us last year. I know that 8th pick was his.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I can thank him for my rookie quarterback.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with well, yeah, to my division, so instantly I'm gonna go with the Colts, but I don't know about that. I don't know about that new quarterback. I want to see him. I want to see how his first 4 games are, and then I'll see if he's the real deal or not. But I think the Colts have a team that's more ready to go. I mean, you do have the weapons. Not take anything away from the team. You have a lot of weapons, but is that quarterback ready, or does Wentz, get ready to suit up and come on?
Well, if the quarterback can't get it done, then we've got a 2-headed rushing attack that'll move forward.
Okay. Then we have Jags and Cleveland.
Jags and Cleveland, I'm going to have to go with the Jags. I think his running game is just too strong. He's a smart player, doesn't make a lot of mistakes. Doesn't make mistakes at all, can play defense. I'm going to have to go with the Jags there.
Okay, that's funny. I'm going to go opposite. I'm going to go with the Browns. He went to the AFC Championship, fell short there. And his quarterback is amazing, man. Kaiser has been the MVP of his team. I don't know.
He does a lot of picks with him, though.
Yeah, but he still made it. He still made it as far as he made it. I think and to his advantage, a lot of his stuff was new this season. He's not new anymore. And I don't know if the Jags, had the Jags, they were so run heavy. You seen it even in I don't know if you've seen the playoffs game when he was so run heavy. He never abandoned the run, even when they were shutting it down. And I don't know if he's learned from that mistake or is he still going to go for net for net for net. So I'm gonna go with the Browns that first one. That can easily be a game of the week as well.
I agree.
And we have the Jets and the Cowboys.
I'm gonna have to go with Cletus on that.
Yeah, Moondog is on my get it together list, and I don't think he gets it together week one against the Jets. Then we have Paya and Green Bay, rather, excuse me, Green Bay and Arizona. Who you got?
You know what? If Champ actually shows up to play, I think Green Bay wins it, but Champ can play. If he shows up and with the mindset to play.
Yeah, it's funny. I agree with that as well. I think he showed up to play against me when we played. But again, I don't ever know which one is going to show up. Is that guy going to show up, or he's just a guy who's just like, I'm going to just play my game. So, and Green Bay is going to come to play because he wants to win. So I'm going to go with Green Bay. Then we have Patriots and the Texans. Who do you have?
I'm going to go with the Patriots there. I know Brady's not there, but they I think on the last show we determined they still got a quarterback. So I think his defense is strong. I'm not sure. I think the Texans has a rookie quarterback now, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots there.
Yeah, I do too. I would like to go with the Texans because I know that they have Clowney still. They have Watt. I think he still has one of a great defensive line. I think we played in our preseason game, and I told him this season I think he should blitz a little more, get them guys more involved. I know he's still trying to figure it out on offense, and unfortunately, I don't think that the Patriots game is the first game you want to play against and try to still figure it out. So I'm gonna agree with you there and go with the Patriots. I know his keys to victory though should be the same as we spoke about last season. Deion Lewis, Brandon Cooks. I know he has like 3 more other receivers now have 94 and high speed, but those are still the two that he's gonna feed. So if he can apply pressure to the Patriots, I think he can actually be competitive in that game. We have the Rams and the Eagles. Who you have?
You know what? Again, it depends on which Ram team shows up. But I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles there. I haven't seen him play, but last year he did hang with Watt pretty good. He's made some noise. I think he drafted pretty well. So I'm gonna have to go with the Eagles there.
I'm not ready to count the Rams out, and I want the Eagles to show up. So I'm not giving him no easy win. I'm gonna go with the Rams. I want him to go 16-0. Like he said he wanted to go. I wanted to bring that type of mindset. So, and I don't think the Rams are going to be such an easy pushover for him. I don't know what he did in the offseason, but, he's solid. He takes Boone, plays Boone pretty tough, things like that. So I'm going to go with the Rams. We have Ravens and the Raiders.
I'm going to go with the Raiders there.
Yeah, me too. Even though I think the Ravens are definitely a team to watch this year in the AFC.
I think the Raiders just have too much defense. They've got that defense dialed in.
Yeah, and Khalil Mack is a beast. He's getting a ton of sacks and things like that. We have the Bills and the Seahawks. Bills are 2-0 in the preseason. Is that a sign or is that just Sims?
I'm not going to comment. I'm just going to have to go with Seahawks on that.
Yeah, I don't know if they're Sims. They're probably Sims, man. I'm gonna go with Seahawks. Week 1, I don't see Moon losing that at all. We have Steelers, aka Organized Chaos, versus the Dolphins.
I don't know much about the Dolphins, but I know Bill will bring his game, so I'm gonna have to go with the Steelers there.
I don't know who's starting in Pittsburgh. I don't know if Dobbs is starting, the other guy. Now you tell me you got a new guy. It's just quarterbacks upon quarterbacks in Pittsburgh, but I think that doesn't matter. He still has all the weapons to beat the Dolphins. hopefully the Dolphins has been practicing, working on this game. I know he said that's what he wanted to do when he was a guest here on the show. But yeah, I don't see the Steelers losing that. And then we have Titans and the Redskins.
Yeah, I played the Titans last year. He's a solid owner. Got a good game plan. I think Watt's user skill on defense will be the difference in the game.
I agree. And then can Titans stop the deep ball? You know, I know everybody's asked me a lot, and it's been a huge thing about the Redskins and its offense. But until guys force him to change, he's not going to change it. He said it on the show. He said it to me a ton of times. You know, he's dumbed it down so much where he feels like he doesn't have to. So can Titans force him to now stop the deep ball? And then if he can, does he, will he adjust and still win the game? So Titans, if you're watching, man, you're playing the Redskins week 1, stop the deep ball, force Will to play different, and you can win the game. Then we have Vikings and the Chargers.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that the Vikings, come out and do what they say they're gonna do. I think they're gonna challenge Pie for the division this year, and I think it'll start with that game.
I'm gonna go with the Chargers. I know he had Melvin Gordon last year, and that was when he lost him. His game kind of slowed him down. He just missed the playoffs by a game. But he lost Hunter Henry. He didn't trade him to me. He traded him, I think, to the Texans. Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Vikings. To look at that type of tight end, I'm gonna go with the Vikings. I'm gonna go with the Vikings as well. I'm not gonna go against you with that one. Now, I'm definitely interested to see. Let's look real quick. Let me get your opinion on strength of schedule, and let's see where you rank at. You're kind of in the middle with the strength of schedule. You have your first 4 games are well, it says your first 4 games are San Fran, Vikings, Saints, and Bucks.
San Fran, Vikings, Saints, and Bucks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm gonna go 3-1 over that 4 game stretch.
Who do you see losing to?
I don't know. I haven't seen much from San Fran. I think I match up good with Minnesota. Know the Bucks. So it's a toss-up. I think I'll lose one of the games either to Minnesota or Pendant.
Okay, yeah, and it's funny because I see that Daddy Leagues, the schedule they just showed me, they're still showing me the preseason schedule, even though I picked regular season. Because it says that Giants and the Redskins play week 1. But we'll see. Because for my first 4 games, I have Saints, Seahawks, Bucks, and Green Bay. I'm gonna try to go 4-0. I went undefeated against the NFC last year. Always had an NFC Championship.
I can see easily going 2-2 there.
I appreciate that motivation.
Hey, no problem. You can count on it.
I definitely appreciate that motivation. I know the 2 games you're speaking on. You're speaking on the Seahawks and the Packers game. Me and Boone have been talking. When I made the Miles Jack deal, I know he felt necessary to make him a deal with a linebacker, and he ended up getting Hassan Reddick and a cornerback from the Cardinals as well. And then I think he also made another trade as well to upgrade. Oh, he got a cornerback too from the Dolphins. Because he said he didn't want me to just upgrade my team and he'd still be left behind. So I know he's trying to rebuild that Seattle Legion of Boom type of defense again. And he's he's gonna run the ball. He's like you. He's gonna run the ball. You guys are stubborn. You, him, his brother, and Steelers are like, you guys. I know you guys are gonna run the ball. 3rd and 15, you're running the ball. Like, you know what I'm saying? 4th and 20. What are they going to do? Halfback draw. Like, you guys are just so stubborn with that run. But it works for you guys. So
it does.
Yeah.
Not like I said, I got a two-headed monster and at running back, and now Cam had dropped to 79 speed. I'm back up to 85 speed with a quarterback. So
yeah. Do you still have Luke? Has Luke lost a step? I know he's getting older now. He's like 30.
Nah, he dropped, I think, a point across the board on in regression, but yeah, he's still there. He's still solid.
Okay. So this team is currently built around. It's safe to say this team is built around the running game.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's pretty much it.
It's always going to be built around the running game.
Yeah. No. Hey, hats off to you. I'm gonna be looking forward to it. I know. We play each other twice a year. To the guys who don't play you twice a year, expect to run. Even when you don't expect to run, expect to run. I mean, you still have a good linebacker core. I don't know what your cornerbacks and things look like. So,
got the top rated cornerback in the draft, and
no, that's right. Yeah.
Bradbury on the other side at
Yeah.
84. So, pretty good there. Secondary is pretty stout. Safety is getting a little bit of age on them. I'll replace them soon. Defense is solid. If I have any weakness, it's my offensive line.
Okay, well that's honest. That's an honest thing there. Well, any closing remarks, man? I definitely appreciate you coming on here to show. I think we pretty much covered everything. Is there anything you wanted to talk about? Anything you wanted to address?
No, I think we covered about everything.
No, okay, yeah. I know that a day or two ago that Bengals cut Andy Dalton. I know that was huge.
Yeah, quite a few big names on the free agent board there.
Yeah, it's still some guys who can make a difference on a team depending on where your team is. I mean, they're older, but a good 1 year deal can definitely make some improvement somewhere on some of these teams. I wouldn't count a lot of these old guys out, even though that they're old and their speed might have dropped 1 or 2 points, but there's still some solid players on the free agency list. I mean, because like you said earlier, the draft was so weak. Guys were just a lot of average guys. It wasn't a real star.
Yeah, a lot of average guys. Bad year to have multiple first.
yeah. I think. Do you feel like this draft will be stronger? You think Madden's doing like a 1 week, or it's a roll of the dice?
I think what it is, I think it's strong at positions. There wasn't much for cornerback at this one. There wasn't a whole lot for quarterback. Seemed to be some decent wide receivers in it. It seemed to be some decent safeties, both free safety and strong safety. I don't know. I think the drafts. I think last year's draft was quarterback heavy.
Yeah, it was.
A lot of guys got star quarterbacks last year. So I think there's probably some inconsistency with peppering in star players, and I don't know, maybe next year's draft will be offensive lineman strong.
Yeah, it is really a roll of the dice because there hasn't really been a defensive strong one yet, right? Defensive lineman.
Not that I've seen really. I haven't. We haven't seen a J.J. Watt type player come out on defense yet, or a Kuechly type player come out on defense yet that I've seen.
Yeah, not me neither. Not me neither. Not me neither. I haven't seen one. No guy. There's been a lot of maybe like a star receiver. That seems to be consistent.
Yeah.
It's one of those. But yeah, somebody like a Kuechly, like a J.J. Watt, even like a Cam Chancellor, somebody who's like, whoa,
Exactly.
Yeah, fear that guy. It hasn't been one of those. So we'll definitely see what it is, man. I'm interested. I'm ready. I mean, to me, it felt like the longest offseason ever.
Yeah, we always look for a way to try to be fair with everybody and look for a way to try to speed it up. But unfortunately, there's no good way to do that.
Yeah. When does the actual season start?
I think it starts tomorrow.
Okay. All right. Yeah, that's not too bad. 1 more day isn't going to kill. It's not gonna...
No. You can enjoy the Panthers beating the Saints today.
Oh, is that a playoff game?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. That's an interesting one. Did the Falcons win yesterday?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
Matt Ryan's going to
Falcons
choke
Falcons
again.
went to LA and won.
Yeah, well, I don't expect Matty to take us that far anyway. So, and the coaching sucked. You know, I'm still bitter about that Super Bowl loss. So,
Should be. Y'all earned it.
yeah, yeah. So, I'm not surprised or I'm gonna take Atlanta for what they are. So, but yeah, man, thank you for coming on to the show. Yeah,
Thanks for having me. I'll look
you're a
forward to
Panthers.
doing it again.
Yeah, you're a Panthers fan, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. But yeah, man, appreciate you coming on, man. Thanks for everything you done for the league. The league is dope, you know, in my opinion. Appreciate it, and looking forward to seeing you twice a year. I know you want the division now, so now I'm not gonna take my foot off the gas. I know the Saints
Keep your
want it
foot
too.
on. I've never asked for mercy.
Yeah, nah, I know the Saints want it too. So,
Well,
to hear you say it means
if he can get past me, then he gets his shot at you.
hey, I told him you can't be. I told him you swept him last year. I don't think he can beat you. I mean, I felt like last season was his season to do it. You beat him twice. It's the second time, even more convincingly than the first time. I don't see it happening. So
If I can sweep him, sweep the Bucks, and at least take one from you, I got a good shot at least a wild card.
that's respectable. That's respectable. I mean, you said I'm gonna go 2-2 my first game, so you definitely have used that to your advantage. It'd be interesting to see what your quarterback does. You know, the quarterback controversy between you and the Giants and the Steelers. To me, do you give these young guys the instant nod, or do you gotta, are you gonna rough it out, or when do you pull them and things like that? So it'll be interesting to see how you guys do that.
Trial by fire.
Yeah. I think that's what Bill will say too. I think that's what Bill will say too.
Yeah, we're cut from the same cloth, so it's definitely trial by fire.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, man, thank you again for coming on, man. I appreciate it, and you're welcome back anytime. Any closing remarks before we get up out of here?
Everybody has a great season. Thank you guys for what y'all add to the league, just being a part of it. Thank you for the show. Pi, again, thank you for the and hope everybody has a great season and hope everybody makes the playoffs.
Yeah. Listen, it's hard to follow up that. I do wish everybody a great competitive season. There'll be definitely more shows. I'm trying to get some new guests. I got a guest for Wednesday coming, a new guest. So definitely reach out. We're looking forward to seeing how everybody does. Let's get back to work, man. It's time to get back to work. So I'll see you guys definitely on the field.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely, man. Appreciate it. And this was Mark Gates and then Psycho signing off to the owner's box.